So it's like SDP is the new mecca. Everybody is flocking to SDP. Since El Rufai decamped from the APC to SDP, we have had the likes of Hamza Al Mustapha also decamp from his party to the SDP. And we've had talks, there are rumors that even Bala Mohammed is coming to join the SDP. In fact, there are information out there, right now there are still rumors that about 12 governors from across parties, PDP and APC, that are coming to join the SDP. All right? So the question is, this new alliance that is forming within the SDP, will it work for Nigeria? Will it work for Nigerians? Will it help Nigeria achieve her true potentials? This is the question. But is this the question that the people who are decamping to SDP, is this the question they are asking? Peter Obi said something very profound when these rumors came initially about partnering with people like Bala Mohammed. He said, I am not going to engage in a coalition that is just for the sake of power grabbing, a coalition to grab power. He's not going to engage in that. And I felt that that was a very profound statement to make. Because does it mean that there is a possibility that there can be a coalition that is just for the sake of grabbing power? Of course there is. That is what we had in 2015. A coalition that was formed, that later became the APC, that was for the sake of grabbing power. After grabbing power, will they fix Nigeria? Critical question. Now, two things. Number one, will SDP achieve what APC achieved in 2015? Will SDP achieve it in 2027? What were the factors that led to the success of the coalition in 2015? Are those factors available now? Let's go back. In 2015, two things were working against the PDP. Number one, corruption was rampant. We were not hungry. Nigerians were not hungry. In fact, comedians later started making jokes that it was because in Jonathan's time, Nigerians had so much food to eat that they started seeing that Jonathan was weak and they started seeing that there was corruption. And so when Buhari came into power, the first thing that he did was take away the food. And when Nigerians became hungry, Nigerians could not talk again. They joked about it. So in 2015, we didn't have a problem of hunger, but there was a problem of massive corruption everywhere. Even though right now, the corruption in Jonathan's time, some people compare it to now, and they say that the corruption is worse now than then. I don't know. Perhaps your own opinion might be different. But Nigerians did not have a problem of hunger. They had a problem of corruption. And secondly, the PDP had a problem of non-compliance with the aspiration of the IMF and the World Bank, this Kolo cabal, the elite group of people in the US-led West. Because they could not remove fuel subsidy, fake fuel subsidy. In fact, let's rephrase it this way. Because they could not increase the price of petrol, because they could not privatize the way these IMF and World Bank people wanted it, and to top it off, because the Jonathan administration was so anti-gay, they decided to work against Jonathan. And that is why you saw that you had the likes of the APC taking or dragging Buhari to go and get a Democratic Party, a campaign manager to come and help them. They had all kinds of shady deals. So those two things were working against the PDP in 2015. And that was why the coalition worked. The coalition of the SDP right now, are the same ingredients there? Yes and no. Yes, the corruption has grown and added hunger. So we have both corruption now that is widespread, and we have hunger that is also widespread. But the truth is that now we have a Tinubu that created hunger, added hunger to our menu, that created unemployment, right? We have that Tinubu that is overseeing massive corruption. That same Tinubu is massively supported by the US-led West, this colo cabal in the US-led West, this elite group of people in the US-led West. So only 50% of the conditions that were responsible in 2015 for the fall of the PDP, only those 50% of those conditions are available now for SDP, as it will seem, because right now things are just still forming. The cloud is just starting to gather. We don't know where it will form. We don't know when it will form. We don't know the actions that Peter Obi will take. Many people are rumoring that, Peter Obi will also go to SDP. Some are saying no, he will remain within the Labour Party. And then whether Atiku too. Funny enough, the rumors are that Atiku too will leave PDP to come and join SDP because, of course, Wike is being used massively to weaken and destroy the PDP. So a lot of these things are going on. But one thing must be stated clearly right now, and Nigerians should take note of this. Do you think that these political vultures that are regrouping and realigning in the SDP, do you think that they are realigning because of the interest of Nigerians or because of their own selfish interests? This is a critical question that we need to ask and answer. For me, the SDP will not solve Nigerians' problem unless the SDP engages in some very critical internal party reforms. The SDP can only serve the interest of the people by leveling the political playing field, and that is only possible through revisiting the nomination and expression of interest fees. If it continues to be exorbitant, if it continues to be above at least 50% of the annual minimum wage of Nigerian workers, then it is disenfranchising some Nigerians. It is locking or shutting the door against Nigerians. If SDP continues with this, their delegate system for party primaries, then of course, what would you expect? The likes of them Atiku will come there. The likes of them El Rufai will come there. The likes of them Bala Mohammed will come there. And they will just take all their deep pocket and keep it in their pocket. And they will not buy delegates. Really? Are you people joking? Even in YPP here, Kachiku came out and was complaining that they bought, is it YPP? YPP or this other party that this former Kingsley Moghalu went to. Yes. They were complaining that in fact, it was Kingsley Moghalu that was complaining that delegates were bought. So you think that in a party like that, where you have the likes of Kingsley Moghalu and Kachiku and Dumebi Kachiku, and they are complaining of delegates being bought, then all of a sudden you will have heavyweights like them Atiku and El Rufai coming into an SDP and they will not buy delegates? If SDP is thinking like that, then SDP should think again. It's either they are not serious, or they are naive, or they are just about making money. So if SDP does not engage in a direct primary system where every party member is eligible to vote and the aspirants should go to the party members, and nobody is hiding what? Nobody is hiding who? In terms of membership list. We can't have, SDP cannot benefit Nigerians unless it engages in these reforms. And SDP must come out with clear-cut ideologies. Ideologies like buy made in Nigeria first. Preference for made in Nigeria. Number one presence for made in Nigeria. It should be there in the constitution of the SDP. It should be there. And the SDP must put conditions like, oh, if you want to join the SDP, join at least 2 years before. Because 12 months into the election, if you're not a member, you cannot just jump and come and participate in the primaries of SDP. Unless they put these things in place, forget it all. You will just have rearrangement and regroupings of political vultures for the sake of grabbing power. And I want to believe that Peter Obi will not fall into this trap. I want to believe that Peter Obi will not fall into that trap. There must be clear-cut ideology, very, very clear-cut ideologies. And the punishment for breaching those ideologies must be well entrenched in the constitution of the SDP. If not, it is going to just be business as usual. They will just get the benefit of deep pockets decamping into the SDP. They go chop, claim out, and move on. And Tinubu will have his way. Because let's face it, unless SDP engages in these reforms that I just mentioned, that block of 60 million Nigerians out there that have PVCs but continue to be disinterested in the elections because of lack of credibility on the part of INEC, those 60 million Nigerians will not come out to join the SDP. And that 60 million Nigerians is what any political candidate that is an opposition right now needs to defeat Tinubu and the APC in 2027. Anything short of that, you're joking. And if you think that these political vultures that are regrouping now are going to act in the interest of Nigeria on their own, you're joking. Because it's a mistake that I've come to see that we Nigerians continue to make. We are looking for men with integrity, and we leave it to their prerogative to do the right thing when they get into office. No, you can't. You cannot waste time looking for a goat with integrity to put in a room with tubers of yam. If you do that, you will just find out that you are wasting time because, number one, that goat either does not exist or it is very, very hard to come by. A goat with integrity that you will put in a room full of yam and the goat will, out of his own integrity, not eat the yam. How possible is that? But if you want to keep that goat in the same room with the yam, all you need to do is come up with a genius idea. Get a very strong rope. Tie the rope round the neck of the goat in one place. Tie it round a pole on the other side, such that the farthest distance the goat can go, it will not be able to reach the yam. That is what constitution and rules and regulation and laws do. That way, it doesn't matter whether the goat is a goat of integrity. It is restricted by the rope. If we have laws that control and restrict the activities of our political leaders and we make them easily justiciable, you will find out that there is no need to waste time looking for leaders with integrity because the laws will put them in check. That's what they do in developed countries. The laws are there to put them in check. People argue that we already have too much laws in the country. It's not true. We don't have enough laws. The laws that will check the activities and the excesses of our political office holders, of our leaders indeed, all across 7 critical sectors. Those laws do not exist. Right now, leaders can still buy properties abroad. They can still buy cars abroad. They can store money abroad and claim it is money they gained from their legitimate business. It should be disallowed. Yes, it should be disallowed because of conflict of interest. Right now, they still send their children abroad. They go abroad for medical checkup. They send their children abroad for education. So long as we continue to have this, Nigeria will not be changed because these leaders will be acting in their own selfish interest. So all of these must be put as clear-cut ideologies in the constitution of the SDP with clear punishment in the constitution. Once that is done, because even the Supreme Court respects the constitution of a party, because INEC respects the constitution of a party, then you have a legal framework for holding leaders that are elected on the platform of this SDP accountable. almost by default. Will the SDP engage in these reforms? He had. And that is why the only thing that can help us now is our own political party, built from the scratch, with these clear-cut ideologies. Yes. Anything short of that, now zero. Anything short of that is a waste of time. Look at the way the legislators collected millions for SUV. Those millions could have been spent to buy locally made SUVs. And that would have created some jobs, even though only less than 30% of those cars are really made in Nigeria. They're assembled here. But it's a starting point. We can then go forward to the 4 critical sectors that can guarantee Nigeria's sovereignty and true independence later. But it's a starting point. But the legislators would not have that, because in their political parties, there is no clear-cut provision. In the Constitution of Nigeria, there is no clear-cut provision that you must give preference to made in Nigeria first. Everything is imported. How are we going to create jobs if everything is imported? This is where the problem lies. This is where I know that it will be easier for the camel to pass through the eye of the needle than for SDP to succeed against Tinubu in 2027 and for SDP to work for Nigerians. It go hard. Because number one, remember I said it's only 50% of the conditions that we had in 2015 that are available now for the opposition parties. Only 50%. The other 50% is the support of international organizations like the IMF and the World Bank and the CIA and USAID and all that. Those are strongly in support of Tinubu. So the only way to get Tinubu out with the support of these international organizations and agencies is to mobilize the people and shine light on the activities of the electoral process. We can defeat Tinubu, defeat APC, defeat the police, defeat security agencies, defeat thugs, and defeat INEC in 2027 if we mobilize the grassroots. If we can organize Nigerians, and it is possible and it is doable, but it's not the way SDP is doing it. What is happening within the SDP is just regrouping and reorganization of political vultures. It is we, the people, that will change Nigeria. But the question is, are we ready to do it? There's a link in the description. Let us join to form Abundance Party of Nigeria. Let's join to form it. And then we need funds for it. Contribute. Send us your offering, your donations. Send it to us. This is the way to invest in Nigeria. If you love Nigeria, contribute to us in this task to free her. Let us form a political party that gives equal opportunity to everybody. Whether you have billions of dollars in your pocket or not, so far you are a Nigerian, you should have access. This is what this party is responsible or going to be responsible for. This is why you should join us. Send us that 1,000 naira. There's an account in the description. Let us start this party. We must work harder than the people making Nigeria the way it is. Look at them. They are jumping from pillar to post now. They are jumping and regrouping. And with the people, all we are doing is complaining. We must do more than complain. We can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. Look at the way we abused the hell out of Tinubu to the extent that we chased him off social media. Did it stop him from rigging himself in? Did it stop it? No. Did it stop him from engaging the policies of the IMF and World Bank that has brought hardship and suffering to Nigeria? It didn't. It didn't. So we have to understand it and come up with a different strategy. We have to. We have to do it all. So the best investment you can make now is to contribute to us. Send us that 1,000 naira. If you have more than that, you can give. If you have 1 million, 10 million, you can give us. It will be judiciously used to achieve this task. This is the way to go. Unfortunately, we are busy getting distracted by the drama and the distractions they give us. Senator Natasha versus Akpabio, Fubara versus pro-Wike lawmakers, or Basa versus Miranda. All manner of distractions every week, week in, week out. But if we are going to fix it, the only way is for us to use this abundance party route. There is another solution to fix the followership problem. But let's start with this leadership problem first.